Good morning. Well, Rumble and I've been to Walmart already. I didn't get up quite as early as I did yesterday. Yesterday I got up like at 3:30, so we walked between 5 and 7, and that was really nice because while it was dark, I was much cooler. Well, the lowest temperature today is 78. All that terribly cool. So, but it is lovely in the mornings. Compared to 105, I'll take this. So, I woke up and thanked God for another day this morning, and feeling better. I have more energy than I had the last few days. Probably going to be able to do 8 or 10 miles a day today. I'm not sure why I was so tired. Maybe I just didn't have enough fat in my diet. I just bought some more sardines, not in olive oil, which is probably not a good thing. So I made my avocado mayonnaise. I discovered tastes pretty good. I also have some organic relish that I made. I just bought organic pickles and then pureed them I chopped them up very fine in my Ninja blender, and that worked out very good. A little better if you're going to have something like that late in the day, so you don't have heartburn. I do just fine with hot sauce or what else did I use? Something else that was spicy. Anyway, kimchi. If you have those, I have them breakfast and lunch. Now, I did have an extreme form of GERDs before called LPR, laryngopharyngeal reflux. In other words, you have acid coming up and burning your vocal cords and probably getting into your lungs as well, and that's why I had asthma problems also. So that's much, much better, but not better to the point that I need to be having spicy things right before bed. So, the avocado mayonnaise is fantastic. Thomas DeLauer has that on his website. I think it was kind of funny. Dr. Baker said that if somebody didn't like ribeyes, they must have got dropped on their head. Well, I didn't get dropped on my head, but I was not a breastfed baby. When I was born, C-sections were not a common procedure. While the first ones had been done, my mother's doctor did not know how to do them. And he chose, since I was coming transverse, that means you're not presenting butt first, you're not presenting head first. My side was, I was totally sideways. So, since I was coming sideways, he just reached up inside my mom and flipped me around. That wasn't without consequence, mind you. She wound up with a horrible infection. And back then, in those days, they didn't allow a mother with a raging infection to be with a newborn infant because they thought the infant would possibly get sick from the mother. And anyway, so that was kind of ridiculous. But I didn't get to see my mother the first 10 days of my life. My dad took care of me, bottle fed me, and the nurses, of course. So, so my immune system did not get off to a good start. Anyway, so I have an aversion to fat, always have. I'm probably on the autistic spectrum, 61, never diagnosed. My son has most likely got Asperger's. His dad did not want him diagnosed, so that never happened. He didn't want him to get a label. But I'm sorry, he didn't get the support that he needed to reach his full potential, and I think that was a stupid mistake. He just doesn't believe in psychiatry, doesn't believe it's helpful, waste of time and money. Anyway, which is a crying shame. So my son, Asperger's, I was looking at my dad. My dad is very similar, has some of the same oddities as my son. And lo and behold, who's the link in between the two? That's me. So I took some autism tests online, the same one the doctors use in diagnosing their patients. And lo and behold, turns out women have entirely different behaviors with autism than males do. How funny. Lots of common things. So, you know, it was kind of a relief to me to find that out. Now, there's only one place in Oklahoma that does autism diagnosis in adults, and that is in Tulsa. And I happen to be moving up there, so if I do get it, it'll be for my grandkids. It doesn't matter to me. But it was a relief to me to understand why I've always been so socially awkward. Of course, I also noticed some similar characteristics with blind people, because if you think about it, one of the things that autistic people have trouble with is understanding and picking up on nonverbal cues, and a lot of communication is nonverbal. Well, if you're blind, you can't see that. So I just thought, wow, that just makes total sense, right? So it's always nice to understand yourself a little better. So I've not made friends easily. It's been a little easier making friends in the hiking community, and in the carnivore community. But also, I think that eating on a carnivore diet has helped me to be less irritable, to be more peaceful, to sleep better, have less anxiety, and all those things make communication a little easier. So anyway, I just want y'all to know that I watch while I'm walking or while I'm working. I've never been a TV person. Don't like, survival channels and stuff like that. What I do like is watching snippets of people's real lives that they share on YouTube. And van life dwelling has been one of my, and tiny homes have been one of my fascinations, and that's probably the direction I will be going before I do my Appalachian Trail hike. If I can still drive, I'd like to fix up my mother's old van and use it. So that's my big hope for the future, is that I can actually get on trail, because I think that's also part of my issue, is that I decided to sell my house, and changes are really hard for people. And this will be my 26th move in 61 years, okay? So it's a lot of moving. But it's okay. I do believe God has better plans for me. And it's really, and I kind of do that. I make sure that God's really giving me a clear direction that I should not continue staying at the place I've been living before I move. And this has been hard, but when you don't have, when you're told, you know, you're on the cusp of not being able to drive, you know, my eyes are 20 over 50, 20 over 60. They do not recommend you drive. So, well, it's not eyes. I can't see out of this eye. I can only see out one eye, 20 over 50. So, to be honest with you, I'm not all that comfortable driving. When I was driving DoorDash and Uber and Lyft and Instacart and Grubhub, I was driving into Lawton, and I didn't understand why I was so frustrated. Well, it was because I couldn't see the phone and the street signs, and sometimes it would become really hard to even see the traffic lights if the sun was facing the wrong way, causing too much glare. So, it is what it is. When I tried nursing, I was going to be hired at the hospital. They found out my eyesight wasn't so good, and they said, sorry, you didn't pass your physical exam. So they were off the hook. So I started working at a nursing home before I had my corneal transplant. And that was difficult because I did ask them before I started. I said, can I enlarge the screen on the computer? I said, oh yeah, sure. Yes, you can enlarge the screen, but you cannot scroll up and down once you do. So you have to go back to where you can't see what you're looking at, and then try and find, while you can't see it, the area that you need to go to, and then enlarge it, which was taking a ridiculously long time. So I just don't have a lot of faith in it being any different. There's another nursing home that's closer to me. I can walk there. It'd be a 2-mile walk there and back. But mostly, even if they did make that accommodation, I still have to get back and forth to Oklahoma City regularly. And that's going to require me paying $176 per trip, minus the RSVP will do one trip for me each month. So it clearly points out to me that I need to move. Oh, well. This is life. It makes me sad, but what's necessary is necessary. So yeah, I'm on a carnivore diet, and yeah, I'm a little depressed. No, I have not blown my diet. I've stuck with beef, steaks, hamburger. Sometimes have salmon and sardines 2-3 times a week. I'll have fish because I need those omega-3s. Anyway, so yeah, I'm down. I mean, I do I've got a cane now. You can probably hear that tapping in the background. We use it by just scrolling back and forth in front of our feet. Since I can't see where my feet are going, it's nice to be able to look up. I mean, everything's a blur, but at least I'm not staring at the ground constantly and still being frustrated. So overall, I'd say, I'm still 145.2. Well, it was 145.0 would be the mark, but yeah, whatever. I still am in a lot better shape and far more productive forward than if I hadn't been on the carnivore diet. And I'm still walking more than I was before I started the carnivore diet, even though I've had a couple of down days. You know what? And that's okay. It's still progress. I do have a setup where I've got a really big screen TV sitting next to my laptop, so I can read the big screen TV, but I look like I'm looking up off toward the ceiling or something. So I think I'm going to work with that and see if I can't orient my laptop with the big TV, so I may still be looking up. At least I'm not looking up to the right. Well, actually I was looking up to the left, but it reverses the image. So it is what it is. Adaptations you have to make when you're losing your eyesight. Still, it's better knowing what's going on than the tremendous amount of frustration I felt when I was just having difficulty doing things and I didn't understand why. Take a look at my glasses. You run into things, your glasses get broke. Well, we didn't replace those right away because I thought I was going to have a lot better vision in my right eye after the corneal transplant. That didn't happen, so the right arm was broke off of my glasses 6 months ago, and just recently I broke the left one off, so now it's held together by wire, duct tape, and zip ties. My dad is helping me with some with money to the fitting for a scleral contact lens is $600 for one eye. Well, we're only going to do this eye because I can't see out of this one. Forward. And the contact lens, because it's not an ordinary contact lens, it covers the white part of your eye too. That's why it's called a scleral lens. One contact lens is $500. It should help me to not lose my vision as fast in my left eye because it just dries out too much, and that's why I have some more central vision loss right now. Is from the epithelial basement membrane dystrophy than from the macular degeneration. It's stable right now. So we're hoping that lens will help. Plus, it will help me to be able to see, and I'll be able to wear some sunglasses. That'll be nice. Because when it's super bright, I really can't see course, early morning hours like this is my best vision without sunglasses. So I wouldn't wear them this early. But I would have them, around my neck and available, so when the sun gets brighter later, I can just go ahead and put them on. So I'm looking forward. Still, I try to be optimistic. If I can get my property and my house sold, I can get on trail where I'm happiest. Really living out of my backpack for a while. If I can get enough jerky dried and pemmican dried, will be just awesome. But of course, I have to be able to do something. I may have to, but I got some material to make some gaiters. It's been a little slow because I had to come up with a pattern. And I think I'm on my third or fourth. Made some practice gaiters. The first set came out too small. And didn't sew the second set. It still didn't look quite big enough. So I made another pattern yet. So I think this one's going to be okay. I got it cut, but didn't sew. I was just tired. So that's okay. One of the other things I need to do is get a cast iron skillet and try and fry up some fat that way, because I think if it's a little more crispy, I handle it better. I have been eating more of the fat on my meat, as long as I cook it more medium instead of the medium rare. I always ate it. So one of the other things I'm going to do is I'm going to just start making some notes after I watch people's videos, and I'm going to start doing channel shout outs, because I hope you all will do the same. Because if somebody shares an important message, I think it's a wonderful thing to promote that message and to promote our fellow carnivores, and to help grow their channels too, because I've seen an unfair distribution of people's channel growth that have been featured interviewed by Carrie. And I think we all need to work harder to make our community grow as a whole. And there are a lot of really unique and fascinating stories out there. So why not put out there, or even interview others? That's what I think I'd like to do, is interview others. Sorry, my arm gets tired, so you wind up hooking up my nostrils. So I'm going to get my camera, my TV, and my laptop situation straightened out, so I don't look like I'm looking off into space. And do some interviews myself, and grant some interviews. I've had a couple of people ask me. So, gosh, I'll learn how to make some questions up in advance, because I tend to get that deer in the headlight look with social interactions. I tend to want to freeze up. So, I guess it's just a fear of not being liked, for some reason or another, And, like, for example, I was watching Dr. Keltz's early morning chat. He does it like 4 a.m., which I think is 5 a.m. my time. And there was someone on there that said, Kyle West had it right about the Jews. He's extremely anti-Semitic. And I happen to be a Jewish believer in Jesus. So, first of all, I'm not accepted by Christians because I don't celebrate their holidays. I don't find their holidays in the Bible. So I don't celebrate them. I celebrate the same ones Jesus did. So I figure people, I don't speak Chinese. I do have a certificate in biblical Hebrew, though. And I studied French in high school. But my brain, while I can be very smart, it freezes up at times. It just doesn't work. Can't make connections. And I think that's from lead and mercury toxicity. And I've got some EDTA from Amazon. I'm going to start using that. Only 10% of that gets absorbed into your system, which really seems like, what the heck? Why is it even worth the bother? But I guess I don't remember if I think it's semi-retired Bob, or I don't know. I think he's the one that was talking about getting 1% better every day. So if I'm chelating 10% of the mercury and lead in my system, that's better than none. So I'll take that. So I'm going to go ahead and encapsulate my own today and get started with that, and hopefully that's going to help my brain function a bit. So I'm still optimistic. I've always been a glass all the way full, because it's never half full. It's the other half may be full of air, but it's all the way full. So I've always been an optimistic person. I guess that's all you have when you have depression, to fight against that. When you have feelings of self-worth that just says you're not worth the time of day to anybody. I have 2 friends that are in a nursing home. One's a year younger than me, and she's completely blind. And, I understand it. When you're on the standard American diet, this is what happens to people. They eat crap food, they feel like crap, they stop taking care of themselves. Their health goes to pot so badly that even if they wanted to take care of themselves, they can no longer take care of themselves. Well, I went to nursing school because I wanted to help take care of people. I actually have always done better taking care of others than myself. Prior to that, I was a medical technologist. Go ahead. And a perfusionist. So I had some smart jobs, but I quit due to insomnia. I didn't want a patient to become injured because I had a chronic trouble with sleep, chronic problems with sleeping. Anyway, I also kind of found that, I did reach out to a psychiatrist who helped perfusionist. You know, and I told him about my situation. He says, well, why bother? You already quit. Well, what an uncaring person. And I'm just, you know, honestly, I can't help but wonder if he just didn't like women, you know? What can you do? What can you say? Anyway, I hope y'all have a lovely day. I'm sure mine's going to get better. Whoops, got my finger over the camera. Yep, I'm going to be optimistic. That's all I've got. Well, and I've got you all. Y'all are wonderful people, and I appreciate the encouragement you've given me.